just got back home from a movie. I just got back home from watching a Kenyan film called Shimoni, and everyone needs to watch that film. It will be running for the rest of the month, all of May. Please check it out. I'm going to leave the details in the description box. It is such a beautiful, powerful film. And Justin Mirichi, oh my god, like I have watched Justin for years. I've watched him on stage, I've watched him on TV, I've watched him in films, and let me tell you, he embodied this character. Like, this is a role like I've never seen before, like from him. And the experience, I cried because I feel things deeply, and the tears, it is such a well told story, well written, the acting, like literally every single character in that film knew exactly what they were doing. The actors were amazing, the performances, like everything. The casting was on point. Honestly, the casting legit on point. And please go watch that film. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they are doing like a buy one get one free ticket. Let's support amazing Kenyan productions because they're there, and this is one of them. And tickets are only 650 bob, and it's happening at Unseen in Kilimani, that Yaya area. That's where the location is. The show timings are 7 to 9 p.m. and trust me, it's gonna be worth it. Please, please, please. That's all I'm asking, because I don't want to spoil it for you. But it's such a touching story. You will feel things. If you are someone who feels, you will definitely. What are you guys doing there? These cats. You will definitely feel things. As in, I need more people. I felt so bad that hall was not full today while we were watching it. I went with Nyokafi. It was a girlies date. I've been doing a lot of girlies dates. Yay! It was, when I tell you, like, I felt bad. I felt bad that room was not full. It had like a good number of people, but I would have loved to have it be full. So if you can, please, 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 it's like I'm begging you, please, 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 buy a ticket, go watch Shimoni, and come back and tell me how amazing it was. Tell me what an amazing experience that was. We have incredible talent in this country, and the best thing we can do to encourage them to keep going is to support them when they share their talent with us. And this is me asking that you go support them, because it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Like, yo. And then I wore this. I have only worn this top in the house. I've never worn it elsewhere. It's like a really cute top. It has an opening at the back and a very deep opening at the front. The girlies get to sit right and enjoy and be enjoyed as a view. So I wore this with, like, I have this deep plunging, a very deep plunge bra. See how deep that goes? Like, it's this can still keep going. Yeah. So yeah, I was wearing it because my plan is to get rid of it. And so I was like, okay, let's wear it one last time. It's one of the things that are going to leave. Because, okay, the thing is, this was a thrift piece, but I didn't pay attention to if it was, like, worn out. Like, I don't know if it's worn out. I'm like, there's a time I cleaned it, and then it has those two thingies that form, like, two tiny balls. I don't know what they're called. This thing is. it has too many of them, and honestly it's just like but it's a really, really cute top. Like, it's a legit cute top. Look at her. Gosh, I'm a babe. Aye. Eh? Like, nasi tafadhali. Eh? Nasi tafadhali. It is. Eh? It is. That's it. That's the whole statement. I am. Hi, let me go take my shower because it's like 11 p.m. Yeah, it's 11:15. Let me go take my shower so I can get rid of my makeup, do my skincare routine. Hello. This is quite weird. I'm at the Kanjo yard in the CBD. It is 6:22 p.m. We had come to pick up some thingies for the kitchen, and it was like a kitchen tap and some things that I need for the bedroom when we got arrested. So today has been a very, very weird day. A very, very weird day. So yeah, let's see. So they want to charge him a 5k fine for picking me up there, because they're saying that's not a pickup point. So yeah, they want 5k for that, and then they're claiming that there's another permit he's supposed to be paying monthly. That's 5k. So he says, I don't operate in Nairobi, so when I'm in Nairobi I pay for the daily whatever permit to be in the city, because I'm hardly ever in the city unless I'm coming to like do something, right? And then the guy's like, you as someone who operates a PSV, the least you can pay for is a month, whether you are coming in once or 30 times in a month. And I was just like, actually I even said that doesn't even make sense, and that guy looked at me like, yeah. So yeah, now here we are, hoping that he's going to print something. He's hoping that he'll be able to come back with that and then just like pay the 5k, because he's going to print all his permits and come with them. But now the problem is these guys are like, yeah, cool, you have it, but it needs to go to City Hall to be stamped. Today has been a very, very weird day. A very, very weird day. Because now that guy was like, if you're not back here in 2 minutes and that gate is closed, your car is going to spend the night here. Good morning. I am currently trying to finish editing a video. Ziggy, I just said hola and he just, this cat though. Honey, what's good? What's up? The house is a mess because I have been working tirelessly. I'm trying to get Sheila to come through and clean for me. I sort of convinced her to move with me. So I'm excited that she said yes. I was just like, please, please. Because the thing is, oh wait, I was okay. There's so much I want to share. So let's start. Okay, let's finish the Sheila story. So Sheila was my cleaning lady for quite some time. And then I moved this sides and I was like, oh, would you be willing to, like, I don't know. I had sort of asked, such as like, we can talk. And then we didn't really talk as well. I was at Wavwas and the work here hadn't started. Then when I moved in here, I've been cleaning, and it's like it's never ending cleaning, if that makes sense, because I will clean today and the house is spotless, and then tomorrow I am installing something or I'm doing something, and then it's like we're back to square one all over again. So I was thinking like all the amount of time, because there's times like I will give up after almost every single project. I have to give up like a full day or a day and a half just cleaning the floors and stuff like that, because also when the house is messy, it kind of just messes with my head. I really try my best. I will do like, I'll clean my clothes and I'll be like, cool, let's fold them. And then by the time I'm done folding those ones, there's already a new load that's over there looking at me like, what's good? And then I'll do like, it's just been insane. So I was like, you know, that thing for if you can delegate, the things that you can outsource, and then the things that you cannot outsource, then, you know, deal with those. And I'm like, you know what, cleaning is something I can outsource. So I called Sheila and I was like, so listen, here's my deal, okay? Because I was also calling her because I wanted her to start working with us in terms of like with projects, because with every project that we do, before we hand over a house, we have to like thoroughly clean it. And that's another thing. I was like, it takes us like an extra like day and a half, 2 days sometimes. But then I'm like, if we have someone cleaning on the go, say like for instance when we're working like on a double story or 1-story house or something like that, where when we're done, like say with upstairs, they're cleaning upstairs while us we're like maybe finishing the work downstairs and stuff like that. So so I was talking to her and I wanted to ask, I was talking to her asking her if she'd be willing to come on board, and she was yes. She was like, yeah, I would love to. And I was like, awesome. And then I was also like, okay, so I have another car request. Would you be willing to come all the way to come clean for me? But I'll always make sure that you have transport. Like I'll be paying for your transport back and forth, and I'll be making sure like there's an ease of movement on how you get here. And she was like, yeah, I'm cool. The reason for this was because I've had a couple of experiences, because one, I've told you these places we shall go. One of the biggest problems with Geshagis is gossip and how people want to talk about anything and everything. And the moment there's like someone sees that person has come like into your space, then that becomes the person that when people are looking for gossip, they become like a source, right? And I guess people here think it's like, oh, we're looking out for each other, blah, blah, but it's not. And an incident that happened that left a really, really terrible taste in my mouth, when there was a fundi who was coming here, and literally he was at the gate, he was waiting for me to open for him, and someone literally asked him to investigate me. Like they started asking him questions like, are you working in there? And he says, yeah, I've come to get some work done. And this person, and the worst part is like the person who asked, because I know the person who asked, and I was just like, wow, like really, you know, we're not like, for me, I'm not big on like trying to just like making friends with everyone. I'm like, we can be cordial, we can exist together, but I don't want us to become too familiar, because I feel like that familiarity makes people extremely comfortable with things they have no business being comfortable with. So anyway, back to this guy. So they ask him to investigate me, right? Like investigate something. It's like, oh, could you find out ABC for me? And in my head, I'm thinking, first of all, this fundi is someone that I don't know like that, right? So now this person has access to my space because they've come to get some work done. What you've just communicated to this person is, one, I'm vulnerable because that person is someone who's supposed to have my back, right? Like, or if something were to happen, they'd be like sort of my second line of defense. But you're the one asking a complete stranger to investigate me. So what you're doing is you're already telling someone else, you're telling a third person, because now in this situation, there's you, there's me, then there's this other person. What you're telling them is that, one, you don't trust me, and two, you don't have my back. We don't know who this person is going to talk to. This person can be going out there randomly sharing that same thing. It's like, hey, I had gone to work here, and then this person came and asked me ABC. And that information boils down to more people, and then it reaches someone who's like, so that means she's vulnerable. That means that person who supposedly a line of defense isn't a line of defense. So like, it's like, oh, she's on the outs, for instance, right? So for me, I was just like, that's insane. One of the things I've been trying to purpose to do is I get my fundis from like Nairobi, because I'm like, because after that getting robbed situation, because I was like, for sure the person who robbed me or organized that robbery was someone who's been in this house, because how else would they know all the tools that I had? Because even if you've seen me outside, the most you will know I have would probably be the saw. For me, I was like, it was an inside job. It was probably someone had given work here. I don't know if they went and had those conversations with people or whatever it was. So for me, I was just like, that's so whatever. So I was like, I'm going to put a barrier where, first of all, I'm not going to give people around here work. I'm not going to give them access to my space. I'd rather have my fundis just come, because I'd rather pay for transport and get someone I trust to come all the way here. So when it came to finding someone to clean my house, I had asked Njoguna. And then at the same time, that's when I was like, by the way, because I've already talked to Sheila about now the other thing, I was like, why don't I ask her if she'd be willing to actually just come? Because with Sheila, I literally even give her own keys, whether I'm home or not. Because now you see with this other person, I have to start building trust. I have to start showing them how I like my things done, because I'm very, very, very particular about how I like my clothes folded, how they're hanged, like I have a system, my dishes, that kind of stuff. And Sheila already knows me. I've been with Sheila for years, so Sheila knows me and she knows me very well. And I was like, honestly, I would rather pay that extra money for transport because I already have trust with this person, as opposed to like now starting to just build afresh. So Njoguna's wife had tried to get me someone, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give her like she can come and then we do like a trial thing. She's not from exactly here, because in my head I was like, if I can get someone also just further down who can just, like Pandawan Matatu and get here, or even be brought by my Buddha guy. But now the thing with that is, for cleaning to happen, I have to be home. But with Sheila, I can just tell her, Aya, you have your keys, do your thing, because that's how it works. Now you see, if I'm dealing with someone else and we say they're coming, like say every Monday, like now that would mean I'd have to always be in the house until I can build trust with this person. But when it comes to Sheila, I don't have to be here. So yeah, for me that was the thing. So gosh, I've talked about a lot. That was about that part. And I think, again, it's like a whole TED talk. I wanted to update you about what happened yesterday, because as you remember, I was in a car and I was talking to you about how we got arrested by Kanjo. So I want to tell you how that ended. So yesterday, we got arrested by Kanjo. I told you how, like, this guy's, I didn't tell you how. Let me tell you. So now as we were coming back home, well, as we were leaving, we realized something that we had not picked up on earlier. So what happened, let me just walk you through that first phase before now I was in the parking lot telling you all the other stuff, because I don't know if I left out any details. So I am on River Road. I had gone to buy our kitchen top. Oh my God, it is gorgeous. I had gone to buy our kitchen top because I am ready to get started with the kitchen. Well, I'm sort of ready to start doing stuff in the kitchen. And when I was picking it up, because it's a bit bulky, so what we usually do, the place that I buy when I'm not going to Inda, there's another place I go to. It's called Bromatt Traders. They are on Duruma Road, opposite Simba Coach. There's like it's called River Lane, and if you're there, you just see their shop called Bromatt. They have really, really good kitchen, basically sanitary ware, plumbing parts and stuff. They have a lot of really, really good stuff, and their prices are really good as well. Sometimes their prices are better than Inda, and they also have like a huge variety. And what I like about them is that whenever I tell them I need something in matte black, they will find it for me. Okay, that's what I love about them. So anyway, especially if it's something that can be found. Anyway, so I went, the kitchen tap that we've been using, the flex broke, and I think it's because there's a time where we had to remove the thingy, so the flex wasn't working. And also at the end of the day, like, I never wanted the wall mount, but I've been using it because that's what was put there, and it works with the situation that I have in the kitchen right now. I always wanted the mixer from the base with one, whatever, like the fancy type ones. Let me just insert like a short video of what I got yesterday, also so we can break away from just me talking to you like this. Yeah, so I picked that. I needed some other things like glue sticks, so I went to the back, I bought everything I needed, and I had a big box that had the tapped mixer, and I had a quick mat bag in my hand, and I had picked up fruits for Njogona because I had mine, right? So Now, so the shop is opposite Timber Coach. So Njogona pitted me because the place that he usually picks me, there was like someone loading stuff. So he passed, he didn't see me. So I saw him and I was walking real quick to get to him. So he had slowed down, and I think these Kanjo guys clocked him before. I think they even noticed him before I noticed him. So I rush in, and usually what happens is we leave my door open, because you know how cops and Kanjos are, where they'll just open, and the door had not opened. So he tried to unlock the door and mine didn't unlock. So it took longer for me to be able to open the door. So I open the door, I get in, I sit down, and I'm turning to now put my box in the back seat. And I'm seeing a dude literally now sitting in the vehicle. He's gotten in, like the door is open and he's getting in. And so Njogona had clocked the guy on my side who was getting in, and me, I now clocked this guy. And now there's two Kanjo guys sitting at the back seat. And then we start moving. So Njogona is just like, oh crap. He didn't say anything, but he's just like, and then I'm just like, oh crap. And then as we just start moving slowly, because he's now like, no. So like they start that whole, just trying to be like, oh, you think you're the boss? Oh, why did you stop there? Why are you picking a client from there? Because they were sure, it's an Uber. And then just there, a third person opens and gets in the back. And now there's three grown-ass men stuck in the back like this, like cramped up in there. And then, so now we're seated there. And now one of the guys is just like, aya twende enda hivi. So Njogona is just driving like really slowly, and he's just like, aki, pole ati, oh, mbona unachukua mtu hapo kole. So fast Njogona is like, si hapo ni stage ya Simba Coach. And then it's like, oh, hapo ni stage, mbona umesimama kwa barabara. So they're asking why he stopped in the middle of the road, claiming that he had blocked the road, which was a lie. There was actually a vehicle in front of us, and there was no vehicle behind us. So there was blocking the road for who? But now Njogona has stopped because there's a junction. So this is the River Road junction from this road we just came from. This is the junction, and they say go down this way. Naturally, we'd go up this way, right? Because we had other business. I had to go pick up glass from Karanja for my shelves for the bedroom. So Njogona is just like driving really slowly, and then at first he was like, okay, let me not try and argue. Then I hear one of the guys go like, oh, so kwani tunaenda na clients, right? So it's like, oh, tunaenda na customer, because they were like, oh, okay, why? So they wanted me to shuka. They wanted me to get out of the car, but they didn't want to explicitly say, okay, you're gonna have to get out, and then we're going to go with him. But they thought he was gonna be like, okay, madam. Because, they're assuming it's like a kawaida Uber. So they assume they're going to be like, madam, just shuka. And then we're going to deal with this guy, blah, blah, blah. So I hear them saying, kwani tunaenda na, I wear my belt and I sit and I get comfortable. And do you know what I did? I pull up my phone and switch on my voice recorder and just hold it still. And I waited because I knew there was a bomb that was going to drop. They didn't see me open my voice recorder because I have I usually have this like really quick whatever shortcuts that I have, whatever, like I have some gestures, and there's certain things, like for instance now for me, my voice recorder, when my screen is still off, there's a motion I do on my screen, yes, on my locked screen, that pops up my voice recorder, and I can start recording immediately. And when I switch off the screen again, it will just record, right? So for me, I was just like, just in case, for our safety, we never know, let's just have this on. And one of the other guys goes like, who you see customer. So now they're silent. So at first, before the whole customer thing started, and Njogona said, tunaweza ongea, niambie. It's like, pole, tunaweza ongea. And then this guy says, kuongea si shida, si wote tuko na mdomo, tunaweza ongea. So basically he was saying that, yeah, we can definitely talk, but let's move. But this was when he thought I was going to have to get off, and then they continue the talk with Njugush. But I ain't going nowhere. So he starts now directing us, and then Njogona gets to a point where he's like, okay, there's three of you. I've accepted, I've made a mistake, but then it's okay, can I just deal with one of you? Like, because like you're cramped up at the back, and in my head at that point I remember I had bought some meds for the cats, some vitamins. The first thing I thought was, are they sitting on my bag? Because now those things were inside my bag and my bag was at the back. But I didn't say anything. Then Njuguna just goes like, he stops in the middle of the road and says, listen, like, I accept, yeah, we are going to have to deal with this situation, but can we just deal with one person? Can the other guys just get off? And we just deal with one person. And then now these guys go like, oh, how dare you? You are stubborn. Oh, we're going to show you. Oh, I like people who are stubborn like you. I'm going to deal with you. Because Njuguna was like, me, I'm not moving the car. Can the other guys just get off? We can just deal with one person. And the other two are just like, because there was one who was very vocal. There was another one who was like throwing hints. And then the third guy said nothing. He was just sitting there. So, and then Njuguna goes like, you've not even locked the door. Because you've seen Njuguna's car. Yeah. I know you've also seen it do miracles, like carry a myriad of plants and stuff. But those are plants. Plants don't mind shy. These are 3 grown men. Njuguna's car is tiny. 3 grown men, and they're all like this. And I'm like, how are you not feeling uncomfortable in there like that? So they say higher. They start giving us instructions of where we're going. As we don't know where we're going. So we assumed, okay, cool. They want us to talk. And you know what that means. So we're like, cool. We're just switching. I think one of the reasons I was also recording was because I wanted to capture that on sound, because I was going to say on camera, on audio. So now we realize, so they're silent and they're just giving instructions on where to go. They're like, we're going to the office. So the office I know is like City Hall, right? No, turns out they have like a yard on, you know where St. Peter's is? If you're in town, like those OTC, St. Peter's, around there, they have a yard. So if ever a Kanjo is taking in that direction, please start pleading your case before you get beyond that gate. Because the moment you get beyond that gate, the stories become insane. Like, everything else just goes at 100, okay? Actually, 1,000. You move from 100 and suddenly you're at 1,000. So now we've been given instructions. We get to that gate and the gate is opened and we go in and they say, hiya, let's go. So there's a place you go and they rate you up for the fine that you're getting. And then the moment you get when you get into that gate and they write you up, those guys who arrested you, their job is done. They go back to the streets and now you have to deal with the guys there. Now those guys... You do not. Whoa, there was a woman there crying yesterday. Like, she was crying actual tears, telling them how she's a woman of God and she's an honest, saved person. I think they were wondering, okay, why isn't she leaving? Because we were just like, yeah, let's go. Let's go find out what's happening. It's like, okay, we go here and get right. Okay, let's go get written up. So Njuguna and I are just walking together. We're following them. Then we get there. So Njuguna is explaining to these guys, like, I was just literally picking someone up. And we didn't stop. It wasn't like I didn't do at all stop, because we've done that. We have this, we even have a system. It's just like yesterday I had things, but we have a system where I can dandia Njuguna's car, because he will open the nini. We never fully stop. Kwanza in the CBD, we never stop, right? Because of such situations. They write this note. I should have taken a photo of that note. I wasn't able to read it. It was like, you think doctors have terrible handwritings? Whoa, the guy there. The only thing we could read was the number plate. And then they had written 3 other things, which I didn't know what those things were, because I was trying to understand. And then you see something that says fee, but then it's also like, it's a statement. Then we're told, go to the office up on Bele where you pay your fine, and then you'll be released if you have the money to pay the fine. So as we're like, fine, let's go pay the fine, then we leave. We go to this office, and now this is where the nonsense begins, where they start just claiming. So first of all, they ask for the business permit, because Njuguna's vehicle is a PSV. I don't know who they're backing at. Njuguna's vehicle is a PSV, so he needs to have like an operational permit. There's this one that they pay for a whole year. Let me just find out what's going on. Njuguna had their business permit, but then they were saying, oh, it's fake. And then they're like, oh, it needs to be verified, so you have to go to City Hall and get it stamped. At this point, I checked the time. Guess what time it is? It's 5:17. Of course, City Hall is closed. So we're like, and then he's like, yeah, so that means you have to go to City Hall tomorrow. And he's like, also, Mimi, I'm shutting down, blah, blah. So we're like, oh, now we get the game that you guys are trying to play. So, Njuguna insists, but the permit is legit. So in my head, I'm thinking, if you are running a situation where you need to verify permits, shouldn't you have a system in place where you can actually verify the permit yourself without having to send someone to a completely different space? If not, if yours is to deal with the mistake that was made today that requires the fine to be paid, maybe just deal with that. Then they start saying at Njuguna is also supposed to pay another permit. that's supposed to be at, because he's a PSV, that the least amount of whatever he can pay for is a month, which is 5 Gs, which didn't make sense because that means like that's another 60,000 bob, right? But in truth, there's no other permit, but they were just now trying to start racking up the money, because you see, the thing is, if they rack it up so high, and then they'll be like, you see how much money will be expected from you, so if you give us this much, we'll let you go, which is technically what happened. So they racked it up to 17,200. But Njuguna is like, but here are my permits. And these guys are like, yeah, you're showing us, but we don't know if they're fake. We don't know. I'm just like, we tell them these things are legit. And if you want to verify, you can verify with this particular person, because they're the person who handled the whatever thing. Because now at least we're like, oh, poof. So say, okay, fine, that's good. Then the 7,200 has been removed off the table. Now you have to pay 10 Gs. That's how they came about the 10 Gs. So now we're down to 10K. That's where they're holding. So Njuguna was like, okay, fine, let me go. Let me find the money. So he comes, we talk, and we're like, okay, so this is how much we need. But he says, this is what I'm gonna do. So he says, just find me 5K, and then we'll see what we can do. So I was like, sawa. So I sent him 5 Gs, and then now he was making phone calls, because he told them, let me make a couple of phone calls and see what I can get. Then now we're standing there, so as we're talking, as I'm sending him, and there was this guy who walked up and said, harakisha, because these guys are going to close, and once that gate is closed, once that there's an office up on Bele, once that office is closed, you will not leave this place. So it's like, go print all that stuff. And then this is the part where it was like, how much have you found now? So Njuguna was like, I have 6K. And then that guy was like, now where will you get the other for? Where will you? So this guy was like, just, okay, do this. Go print those documents, come with them, and come with that money, but in cash. Because you see, at the front gate, people are paying via pay bill. Okay, now I've been told to come with physical moolah. So Njuguna goes to print the documents. There was a lot going on in there. And honestly, I never want to be in that place again. That's one. At least now I know where they are. So that was the situation. So finally, when Njuguna came back, went to the back. Now you see the front office is not working anymore. The pay bill book has been closed. And so he was like, they've agreed to take the 6 Gs. So I'll just give them the 6K. And then, we leave. I was just like, okay, sawa. So we... He went, give them the printed copies, and now they're looking at it. They're like, oh yeah, it looks like it's legit. And in my head, I'm thinking, wow. Like this entire time, he was showing you the soft copy, which was, because like there's these things where you can tell, because it has like your, what's it called? Your logo, your emblem for the county council of Nairobi, blah, blah. I was just like, this one, because we're like, yeah, that 6K was for them. It was most definitely for them, because for us, we're like, if in truth it was just about the fine, we'd have just paid the fine and left, because okay. So the worst part for us was like they wasted our time, because now we left there at 7 p.m. We were there for close to 3 hours. 7 p.m. is when we were leaving, and I still had to go pick up my shelves. So I even had Karanja wait for me, because I was like, please, 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 just wait for me, because now we've been arrested and we don't know what's happening. I had even told Nicholas to be on standby in case they actually refuse to let us go, so that he can bring us home.